All right, Emily, thank you. We also want to highlight causes impacting people of color this month. And according to transplant advocates, New York State has an organ shortage. Now, in the boroughs, the overwhelming majority of those waiting for a life-saving donation are people of color. News 12's Amanda Bossard sharing the story of a father and daughter who've experienced those statistics firsthand and are now encouraging others to consider becoming an organ donor.
10 years ago, Anita Moore received a diagnosis that changed her life in the blink of an eye.
It actually just happened very quickly. I was working and I noticed I couldn't see. So I kept going to the doctor, trying to get glasses, and eventually I was diagnosed with keratoconus, which causes the light cannot reach the back of your eye.
The NYPD officer at the time needed a cornea transplant to restore her vision, so she waited until a matching donor was found.
That time is terrifying, it's scary.
Typically in other parts of the country, someone may be on the waiting list, depending on the type of transplant that they need, for roughly 2 to 3 years. In the state of New York, it's about 3 to 5 years, and not unusual for people to have to wait even 7 to 8 years for the transplant that they need.
Of those on the organ transplant wait list, in the Bronx, 93% are people of color. In Brooklyn, 82%, according to Live On New York. The Bronx native was fortunate to find a match within a few months, and the surgery was a success. But the #1 man in her life was still waiting.
I was on the transplant list for, I would imagine 8 years.
When Cortez Moore's liver disease took a turn for the worse, his daughter offered up part of her own, going from organ recipient to live donor within 7 months.
It was after my surgery, but I got the idea to let me try to help him. And now he's fishing, he's traveling, he's driving, he's on the move.
She gave me a second birthday.
His gift, watching Anita rise through the ranks to become Detective Moore at the Special Victims Unit, serving and protecting New York City the same way she did for her dad, while encouraging others in communities of color to consider organ donation.
This idea that you're extending somebody's life. You only have one, you know? And I know my father is absolutely grateful, but I'm just grateful. I feel like I received the gift also, being able to help him.
Amanda Bossard, News 12.